All right, third through fourth grade. Our first thing today is our sniglet, napnesia. It's the disorientation and confusion that occurs when waking up from an afternoon nap and the day has transformed into night and you have no idea whether it's 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. I don't know if you've ever done that before. I know you've grown out of naps, but every once in a while you might take a long nap in the winter and wake up in the dark. That is pretty funny. And this is our Shakespeare quote. Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. It's from Hamlet. Now, you probably haven't heard somebody say it quite like that, but the actual idiom that we've developed from this quotation is there is method to my madness. In other words, it's a way of saying, I know it looks crazy right now, but I really do have a plan and you'll just have to trust me. There is method to my madness. And then our Proverbs of today is Proverbs 10:19. It says, in the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. In other words, the more you talk, the more likely you are to sin. Very convicting verse. More words is not necessarily good. All right, so our lesson today, it kind of goes with our Christmas newsletter, if that's what you're working on. But even if you're not working on it, this is still a great expository writing project because you will see this all over the place. It's a really simple writing project, but I think you'll love it. This is called a bio. Now, a bio has to do with telling people about who you are. It's not short for biography in this case, but it has a similar idea in that this is about your life. This is about you. So you have to make sure you include some details. You want to include your name. So if I'm doing my bio, I have a made-up name over here that I'll show you in a second. You want to include your name and your contact information. Contact information is basically any detail that you can give somebody so they can contact you. So probably at your age, you might not have your own email address, but if you do, that would be something to include here. Maybe include a family phone number and maybe an address, depending on the situation. If you're sharing your address for people to write letters, but typically it would be your name and for your contact information, an email and a phone number. And then hobbies. Now, some of you might not know what hobbies are. Hobbies are things that you do in your free time. School is over, your chores are done, your other requirements are out of the way, and you have free time. What are the things that you do to fill your time? Normally, people choose hobbies that they can benefit from later in life, things that they enjoy but will benefit them. So one of the categories I would say would be music. Music could be a hobby. It's something that as you grow older and you become better, you can just enjoy playing. A lot of people do it to relieve stress or to encourage other people. We use music in our church to worship. So these are hobbies. It's more than just something you like to do. It's something that you do regularly. Maybe it's fishing. Maybe it's crocheting. Maybe it's babysitting. So you might have a hobby, something you do when you have free time. And then go ahead and share some of your favorite things. That could be your favorite colors, your favorite foods, your favorite places to go, anything that's your favorite that you want to share. And so when someone reads your bio, they will get a good idea of who you are. Now, here's what not to include. You don't need to include what you look like. Typically, in these kinds of bios, nobody describes their physical appearance. And I think that's because a lot of times there will just be a picture of you, and then your bio would be underneath. You don't need to include things you don't do or you don't like, or you used to do or you used to like. Don't need to do those. And you don't need to include people that you're related to or people you know. This is supposed to be focused on you. Now, some of you might find this kind of awkward to write about yourself, but some of you, this will come very naturally. Now, where would you find a bio in real life? So sometimes there are bios on a book cover about the author or the artist. Sometimes you'll find bios on the internet on blogs or articles. The author will write a little short bio. Sometimes you'll find bios included if you go to camp or a conference. Sometimes there'll be a little bio describing the speaker. Sometimes if you go to a website to find out about a company, they'll have company bios where they will include the people who work at that company and a little bio. And like I said, a lot of times it has a picture and a bio. Now, for our example, for our project, all you need to do is write your own bio. But if you're my student, I'm going to add a little bit to this. I would like it to be typed. And we're actually going to add a little picture to your bio. So send me your most recent picture. And if you're doing this for your parents or your teacher or your Christmas newsletter, you can do this too. Include a picture of yourself, and normally it's a headshot. So this isn't you like with your baseball team or you with your family or you, this is just you. And normally it's just your head. That's why we call it a headshot. And then we'll include your bio underneath it. And we're going to include it on our newsletter because if you're writing articles for your Christmas newsletter, then you should have a bio in there to show people who the author is and a little bit about the author. Now, here's just an example of what you could do for your bio. Now, I really like it, though, if you write it in a paragraph. So this is how you would do it in list form, okay? Now, you might not include, your parents might say, no, you don't need to include an address. Just include your phone number, our phone number, or your mom's phone number. My kids don't have phones yet, so they'd have to include mine. But it'd be really fun if you wrote, I enjoy, I should make that look more like an I, looks like a cursive I. Not very good, huh? All right. You guys caught my mistake. I enjoy hobbies like origami, writing, reading, and tap dancing. So go ahead and after you list these off and brainstorm, go ahead and write them into a paragraph of sorts. Enjoy writing about the things that you like to do and describing yourself and thinking about it. It's a good thing to do. And the other thing to remember about bios is they're always changing because you're always changing and growing. Next year, when you do this, if you do my other class series, you're going to do another bio. But this time it should be updated with your latest hobbies, your latest information, your latest favorite things. So enjoy this project. And parents, I would give them points for each element I required. And for every element they miss, I would take off 1 point. So writing the bio would be 1, including their name, their contact information, their hobbies, their favorite things, making sure it's typed and turned in on time. And you can, I guess, work with them on the picture or not, whether that's a requirement. But I would say those are your main things there. And then, of course, edit it for mistakes. So enjoy.